Hey everyone, excuse the mess as always. In a few days, I'm going to do another tarot reading after the full moon on the 31st. I don't know what time yet the full moon is on, but it will be after the full moon. Not sure exactly when. As for last month's, this month's reading was fairly accurate for me personally, so I don't know about anyone else. So I might talk about that another time. Right now, I just wanted to do a. Well, I can't really say an update because I haven't been very vocal about my opinion on these topics, but I wanted to talk about the current COCO crazy stuff, what's going on, and um, I bounce between like this very zen, peaceful. I don't know how to. I don't want to say accepting, but I've had to spend a lot of my days this year preparing for what seems like the inevitable. It seems like fighting anything is just it's just so insurmountable, and I try to take it from a perspective of like, okay, if it's true that I have a soul and that I incarnated for a reason, and that there is I did have some control into my current situations. And that comes from learning how to take personal responsibility, not just in the physical world, but on a spiritual level as well. You could take the neutral saying of as above, so below on that one. If I can take personal responsibility now, it should be my spirit taking personal responsibility, whether that was willingly or unwillingly due to ignorance of why I'm in this physical body at this time. Um, but so I've been spending most of my days trying to be like, this is just the consequence of being in a physical form. Um, this is beyond my lifetime and in the past. I can't say past life, it's too confusing to talk about that. But um, so I just wanted to give you my thought process on like, yeah, I spend most of my days just being in a way being like okay. I don't want to say okay, but um, I just also know that fear doesn't motivate me, so it just doesn't. Um, I think people are always fooling themselves that fear motivates them to protest or become a stronger person somehow, or but then it catches up with you no matter what, and you can fake it for a long time that fear motivates you. I don't know. I think that's just a universal thing. I don't think that's just with me. Um, so yeah. So I try to take this very neutral, all I don't want to say accepting, um, but just yeah, accepting what could happen. The worst of what we always say about getting stuck. Getting stuck and or getting chipped or something. Um, so but then it'll catch me off guard where I realize maybe I don't accept it as much as I thought, and when it becomes starting to become even more of a reality, like I walk past the TV and um, I hear the the news talking about yeah the vacuum machine is going to be ready soon and all these things. Then the reality starts setting in like, I am here and I can't get out of it. It's like, being on a roller coaster and you're at the top and it's like, and you're screaming to get off. There's no way you're getting off at that point. It's all fun and games on the way up, but once you get to the top and then you realize, I want out, and you can't. And you just got to ride it out. So, yeah, that's been hitting me. And that's just my viewpoint as of right now. Oh, I was trying to see. How long has this video been? Because I really want this shorter than 10 minutes. Um, so I don't really know because I don't want to predict the future in I would say the trajectory personally that it seems like we're on is inevitable that the vacuum machine will be mandatory. Um, that's my code word. It'll be mandatory in the way of tracking people to the point where stores won't they'll detect you. They will detect you if you have not had it, whether that's some biometric or a actual microchip in you, and it's tracked. So it's going to be mandatory in that way that you will be shunned by society in every way. Um, and I'm not sure how quick that will be implemented, but um, I really, I really don't want that to happen. But um, and people want Trump to be the savior. It angers me a lot. I've gotten sucked into the narrative that somehow Trump is like the last hope, of like they're like the movement or whatever. Like sometimes I've gotten sucked into that just because I'm so desperate, and I totally get why people are into that. But all signs point to, yeah, he's just part of it. Q's not real, obviously. I mean, I think it's like a logical like thing for me that I know Q is not real, or it's not what it's supposed to be. And but then having moments of desperation where you just like to get through a week, you just need some hope, and then you listen to some stuff. And I had an interesting dream the other day, and I do believe personally this is that I think in the Illuminati there are different factions. There are it's just a war against secret societies, really, is what I perceive. And I think that there's some possibly with good or at least neutral intentions, and I think obviously there's a strong part of the Illuminati that is has evil, self-serving, powerful motivations. And I'm understanding now how prevalent these secret societies are. I'm suspecting people in my real life and on a serious way, because I think it was one thing when I grew up with these people and their families around my neighborhood, and you're a kid and you're innocent, and something just kind of clicked with me. One of my friends had, and you can give me an opinion on this, but one of my friends is a top uh, professor at a astute university, not Ivy League, but an astute university. And there was always something suspicious about him. There were rumors like 20 years ago or something, like he was a communist or something. But I thought it was kind of just stupid childhood, like, making fun of the fact someone likes to go to Canada and Cuba or something. And I didn't really connect the dots until recently. And then my friend who I grew up with, who was in that family, he has gotten, I mean, he has been going to school the whole time. We're the same age, 33. Yeah, I'm 33 years old, okay? That's not Masonic code, by the way. It just so happens I'm 33. And so he's the same age, and he's been going to school, and he just got his doctorate last year, and he's becoming a professor just like his father. And I don't know, it just, there's something suspicious. I'm not ruling it out. I feel like if you are knowing them, if you get into that much of a status of education in the institutions, you have to at least be aware of secret societies. And there was some other encounter I had with someone who talked about that their roommate in college got approached by someone in the secret society, and was going to get initiated. So like just things are coming together. Like I'm like, oh wow, this is prevalent. This is actually real. It's not shit I'm just listening to on YouTube. These are real, and they're in your neighborhood, in your family. Um, and that's a scary realization. I can't go full on paranoid and actually believe it 100%. Okay, we're at 10 minutes now. So, a quick note though about the election is, or, the whatever you want to call it. I don't believe in voting anymore. It's just so funny. I, well, no, 5 years ago, I was such a, I was such a, like libtard, I'll just say. I was just I was going through a lot of bad shit 5 years ago. I had no room for politics in my head, but I was like, I'm just gonna vote for Hillary because that just makes sense, and she's gonna be. It's just whatever. And then, long story short, I went from wanting to vote for Hillary to Bernie. I voted for Jill Stein, and then through the years, I started becoming more of a libertarian, and then as of recent, well, no, conservative and libertarian, and then there was, and I think I'm like more of an anarchist now. I listen to a lot of people who believe in like flat Earth, for example, and I can't say honestly I believe in anything in this world 100% because I feel like I'm so disinterested in watching any information anymore or reading any information because it just feels like lies. Like, why is anything getting published or allowed to speak if it's true? I really believe that. I think things are so dark that it's very like impossible for an average person to even comprehend how dark it is. But I've seen enough to believe that how dark it is, even though I still want to believe there's good factions out there. But at the end of the day, at least flat Earth riles people up, and I will, I'll believe in that. Even if it's, I do believe that that's possible, but what motivates me into flat Earth is just that it pisses off the simpletons, and I just feel like that kind of anarchist, like just because my thing is, and honestly, in my politics now is, I think if anything, actually, what would help is if we dove right into this COCO vacuum machine right away and just lock this whole place on. Maybe it was better if Hillary was it. Maybe it would have been better because maybe that would have been what would have woke people up is this fast track to hell because maybe then people would wake up. But when you do it slow over time and with someone like Trump who makes the way he talks is like double speak, totally double speak, that guy, totally a con artist. That's what con artists do. That's what narcissists do. They really confuse you, and he's actually really good at it. Like one day he'll say he'll try to avoid the whole vacuum machine discussion, but he'll admit, yeah, it's gonna come. Doesn't say it's gonna be mandatory yet. Um, so I so yeah, those are my politics. Is it doesn't even matter. It's like if anything, maybe it would be better if Biden was in, and the command law would be put in as the president. I mean, it's like obvious that if that's even any of that is true, they think that they can actually have Biden in. He's just a guy that's going to be taken out with the 25th Amendment. They're going to say, oh, he's incapacitated, blah, 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 he's too old. It's like, and then they want command law. And I don't know what else happens after that. Hillary gets to be vice president. That's always been my prediction that she was going to wiggle her way into it anyway. So I don't really know. I feel like if everyone was bad and there was no good faction slowing things down and making it inconvenient for the bad factions, we would already be like annihilated. You know what I mean? Like I do think there's other discussions to be had, but I have 15 minutes and I gotta end it. So I can talk about this more, but let me know. Thanks. And educate me, trust me, I'm all open for those discussions.